Hey, what's up, driver? Hey, man. So, you've had a couple run-ins with Kit, right? Yeah. Why do they call him Fisto? Kit Fisto. Fist. You know, man, you don't want to know. No, I do. You really don't. Come on, tell me. I just don't like talking about it. Are you alright, bro? No! Hey guys, happy Star Wars Day. Now, these pops I really wanted, and I kind of gave up hope that I was going to find them after a couple weeks of searching endlessly in more Walgreens than I can care to admit. Pops are really popular in my area, and there was no way I was going to pay the scalper prices online. People wanted like 30 bucks a piece for these at the time that I had last looked, and I was like, yeah, no way. Now, a fellow YouTuber and friend, Franklyn McInnis, I'll link his channel below. He knew that I wanted these, and he knows I'm a big Star Wars fan, and he told me he'd keep an eye out, you know, but that was right when these came out, and I was like, yeah, he's probably not going to be able to find any more either. But out of the blue, a couple days ago, he sends me a video, and it's just a video, and I'm like, whoa, what's this, you know? And it opens up, and I couldn't even tell it was a Walgreens at first, and, you know, he's looking through the toy aisle, he's looking at some action figures and stuff like that, some minis, and then all of a sudden, he focuses on the pops, and he pulls out 1, 2, 3, all 4 of them, lays them out, and then just ends the video, and I was just like, oh my gosh. And I immediately messaged him going, hey man, I hope you got those. I hope you don't have a reserve for somebody else. Because if you don't, you know I really want them, you know. And we worked something out. I reimbursed him for his pop, of course, you know. And also, I sent him a care package for his troubles, you know, as a token of my appreciation. Some figures and things like that. If you're interested in seeing what I did send him, check out his channel. It's one of his newer videos on there. I'm afraid I might have introduced them to the dark, wallet-emptying world of Dunnies and Kid Robot. So, yeah, check that out. Really cool guy all around. Very insightful. He's got some really good poetry on there. He does vlogs and things about pops, reviews, hunting. So check him out. And again, thank you very much, Franklyn. I really appreciate that you remembered that I wanted these and that you went out of your way to find them. Thank you very much, man. I'm going to start by saying that I'm glad they put these new pops in the Force Awakens style box because black, white, and red is a great color combination to begin with. And I do think that the Star Wars logo looks really crisp and clean, just white on black like that. Here's a look at the concept art for the AT-AT driver. Some people say AT-AT driver. AT-AT is good enough for me because AT-AT is kind of a mouthful. I think it was a great idea to come out with a Luke Skywalker and Han Solo from the end of A New Hope with the ceremony medals that they earn. You know, I always thought it was weird that Han got a medal, but not Chewbacca. Like, you know, it's not like Chewbacca is his pet or his, like, servant or anything. I mean, they're partners. So I think Chewbacca should have got a medal too. It was a straight up Wookieism right there. And this Luke Skywalker is pretty cool too from Bespin. You know, one of the best sequences in the entire saga. And it looks like this one without a hand is probably going to be an exclusive somewhere. Hopefully not Walgreens, so it's a little easier for me to get. The blue Senate Guard's pretty cool too. You know, I'm really hoping that they come out with a Mace Windu pop eventually. The fact that they made these two from the prequel gave me hope for that. So, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if we get a Mace Windu sometime in the next year, a couple years. Hopefully we eventually do. I also want them to do a resculpt of Lando because I really want a Lando. He's really expensive, so I'm not going to get him. And I'm actually not a big fan of his sculpt to begin with. I think his mustache looks funny. So I hope they re-sculpt him, kind of like how they did with Chewbacca and Admiral Akbar. Because both of the new Admiral Akbar and Chewbacca's look really good and they're far superior to the old ones. So I hope they do that with Lando too. Or maybe even put him in what he's wearing at the beginning of Return of the Jedi. So it's like a variation. That would be cool too. At first, when I saw images of these 4 Walgreens exclusive pops, I thought maybe this guy was going to be the kind of the filler pop or the throwaway pop or even the runt of the group. But I've always been a big fan of the Stormtroopers. They're one of my favorite parts of Star Wars. So I'm kind of glad they did this guy. And after looking at him all close, he's actually just as detailed as the other guys. I mean, look at all this little stuff they did right here on his little breathing apparatus. He's got a lot of little details all over his helmet. It looks very accurate to the movie. I like how they did a little bit of different color on his pants and his shirt, because they could have easily just made that white. Some really small details here. I think these are sticker applications or some kind of screened on paint application, which is good. It looks really nice and clean. This big red marks looks good. This guy looks really good overall, and he's going to look great with my other stormtroopers. But yeah, I hope they keep coming out with pretty much every single specialized stormtrooper there is, because they are some of my favorites, and they're just so striking in the black and white. Here's a quick look at the box art for Ree Yees. How disturbing is that looking? That looks really weird. Look at this guy, a face only a mother could love. He kind of looks almost like an underwater cow looking thing. Super unique. One of the most unique designs I've ever seen, like, of any character from anything. You know, and this is a perfect example of a really minor character, but a memorable one. So I'm glad they made this one, unlike some of the super minor characters they made from Force Awakens that were barely in the movie and then just completely unmemorable. But this guy is totally memorable. He must have, I mean, less than a minute of screen time. He's in Jabba's palace. He works for Jabba. He was there to watch Luke fight the Rancor. He was on the barge before Luke showed up and destroyed that. You know, I'm not really sure what he did. I don't know if he was just kind of a hired gun for Jabba because, you know, he was a gangster. Maybe this guy was a gangster too. But perfect example of a minor character that I think does deserve a pop. And look at the paint job on this. Look at the shading on this. Probably some of the best shading I've ever seen on these pops. Like, it's got all these wrinkles in here, and they did a great job, you know, putting all this little pink in there to really make it look like flesh. It's just some of the best shading I've seen on pops. Yeah, he's super ugly, but he totally stands out just because he's so well executed. Maybe one of the best executed pops I've ever seen. Ayo, hey. What do you want? Look, we need to talk about your boy Fisto. Dude is out of control. Why, what'd he do? Well, for one, I asked Driver about him. I asked him why they call him Fisto. Yeah. And dude went to a dark place, man. I saw grown man tears coming out the bottom of his helmet. What? Yeah. He did something to him. I don't know. Well, okay. And you know what else people are saying? What? They're saying that me and you should start a Third Eye Blind cover band, man. What? Yeah. He said, Third Eye Blind, because I have 3 eyes and you look like you're blind. And plus, Third Eye Blind sucks. I wouldn't ever cover them. Yeah, man. Son of a bitch. Well, what are you going to do about it? Nothing. What? Kit Fisto's always been out of control. That's what makes him so good. I was the most excited about Kit Fisto when I heard about these pops. One, because he's from the prequels and I want them to do more prequel stuff. But two, is because he's such a cool Jedi. Like, you know, Jedis are cool already, but this guy's cool amongst the Jedis. He's got a really cool design. He, you know, and he's not on the Jedi Council. You don't ever see him passing down his wisdom. He's just there to fight and do a bunch of cool Jedi shit. And he's even smiling during it, which is kind of rare for Jedis. He just really stands out in that respect. And he can also fight underwater. So it's almost like he's a specialized Jedi. And Kit Fisto looks really great out of the box. I like the little details they have in his like little nose and his brows. It's very subtle, but it's really well done. And I do like the way the designer decided to make his braids come back like this, or I should say tentacles, because they are kind of all over the place in the movie, but this makes it, you know, keeps it in line with the pop stylings, and it just looks cleaner. And I like how he just chose to have these two in the front, so you still see him from the front. Just really, really great design choice with that. And his robes look really good. I really have no complaints about this. Even his lightsaber is nice and straight. is translucent and green. Looks really good. There's no paint flaws, really. Yeah, overall, he just looks really, really cool. I mean, I guess if I would say one thing that might have been better, maybe not, maybe just in theory, but if they would have made his head shiny, because he is like a fish type character, and he does look like to be sort of glistening in the movie, but then if they would do that, he wouldn't really look like vinyl. So, yeah, just really well done and perfectly executed. A cool thing about Kit Fisto, too, is that he was originally designed to be a Sith Lord, and they decided to go with like the design of Darth Maul, which is understandable because that's a really cool design. But they liked this design so much that they decided to throw him in there as a Jedi. And I'm glad they did because he does look more like a Jedi than a Sith to me. Let's look at Plo Koon's box. I saved Plo Koon for last because he is one of the most awesome Jedis that are out there because he's a pilot, he's on the Jedi Council, and he can fight with his sword. So he is just overall one of the most badass Jedi to ever live. Except for he did kind of go out really weak, just kind of shot out of the air while he's flying. I don't think they did him justice. Also with Kit Fisto too, because Kit Fisto was one of the guys that went to kind of apprehend the Emperor. And like the Emperor just took like one swing. And Kit Fisto just, that's it. That's all it took. I mean, I know the Emperor's like supposed to be super skilled, but man, did he go out really weak. And it almost seems like they took these guys out that fast just to make up, for screen time. They're like, well, we can't have these big epic battles. We just need to get this thing moving. And they took him out a little quick, unfortunately. But yeah, this guy does have one of the weirdest designs ever. I mean, this almost looks like a freaking embryo or something, but just like the Ree Yees, the paint job they did on this is really excellent and pretty unique to Pops because, I mean, I just can't even remember too many Pops that have this great a detail and this effect to really make this look like flesh. It looks like several color washes on this like kind of peach color. Looks really awesome. This part's glued on separate from this, but it looks good and almost looks, you almost don't notice it at first. And he does have these breathing apparatuses on because he's from a planet where, the atmosphere is just different. So he always wears these to breathe on, I guess, the oxygen-rich planets. And he's got a blue lightsaber. I always wondered what this nail was for. Another unique thing about his race, I suppose. But yeah, really awesome Jedi, really awesome character. Really happy they made this guy in Kit Fisto. And again, I have no complaints about this guy. He's executed very, very well. I mean, the only thing is his head's a little tilted, but I'm sure if I can mess with that, or if I decide to ever display these out of the box, a neat trick you can do to fix any kind of bobbles, short of pulling it off and trying to somehow fix it or gluing it back on, you can always use cotton balls to stuff inside the head. And you stuff a few cotton balls in there, and move them around, play with it. You can eventually just have it be perfectly straight. So, it's a little trick for you about how to fix bobbleheads that are crooked. I just want to say thank you to Franklyn again, because I wouldn't have been able to get these at a reasonable price if it wasn't for him. And keeping in mind that I'm a big Star Wars fan and that I was looking for these, he never gave up. I mean, I think I gave up looking for them before he did. So I'm really appreciative of having met someone like him here on YouTube. These Pops, I'm very happy with them. It gives me a lot of hope that Funko is going to continue to make some really unique characters and execute them this well. A lot of companies, when they start getting popular, they start cutting corners because they think people are just going to buy this stuff anyway and try to make things as cheaply as they can. But you can tell from these paint applications and these sculpts that they're really going all out to maintain and improve the quality of their products. And I'm really happy about that. And I'm happy I was able to get these four. Boo! You telling people why they call me Fisto? 'Cause that's our little secret. No, man, no. No, man, I swear. Good. Get out of here. Yeah, you better be quiet. or else you'll find out too.